hours. The bombing did not stop completely until 4:30 the next morning. By the end of that first day and night of bombing, more than 400 people had died, including children. Many more children and adults were injured. It was 1 year into World War II. The United States wasn't fighting with Britain against Germany, yet. And for most of the past year, the battles had stayed away from British shores too. But this summer, the war had become real for the British people, like Gussie and her family. The Germans had started bombing them. At first, the Germans bombed only military targets, trying to destroy Royal Air Force planes, aircraft factories, and coastal radar stations. RAF pilots fought back, battling in the skies above. The Brits kept count of how many German planes were shot down, cheering on the Royal Air Force. The RAF pilots were already heroes. As Prime Minister Winston Churchill declared, "Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few." Now the Germans were bombing not only air bases, but also civilians in London, the port city of Liverpool, and other English towns. Bombs demolished office buildings, schools, playgrounds, churches, and houses. Homes. Ordinary citizens like Gussie and her sisters and brothers were in mortal danger. This was the third night in a row that the Grimmans had to spend underground. When would it end? How many more nights would Gussie and her family have to huddle together like this, fearing for their home and their lives? And it would probably get worse. Adolf Hitler, Nazi Germany's dictator, threatened to invade by land. The British had every reason to believe that Hitler would follow through with this threat and send his army across the English Channel. This blitz on London was part of his Blitzkrieg, or Lightning War. After taking over Austria and Czechoslovakia, Hitler had used Blitzkrieg tactics to invade Poland in 1939, and German tanks had since rolled across Europe. Tens of thousands of soldiers and civilians already had died as Hitler seized Denmark, Norway, Belgium, the Netherlands, Luxembourg, and France. Hitler was determined to add Britain to the list. He wanted to take over the world. Winston Churchill refused to give in to German force. In his first speech as Prime Minister, just 4 months earlier, Churchill had vowed to wage war by sea, land, and air, with all our might and with all the strength that God can give us. To wage war against a monstrous tyranny never surpassed in the dark, lamentable catalogue of human crime. The British government insisted its citizens take safety measures. There was a universal blackout across the country every night, with shades blocking all indoor light, so that German planes would not be guided to their targets. And when the air raid siren sounded its up and down notes, signalling an attack about to begin, all civilians had to hurry underground to safety, as Gussie and her family had. Only air raid wardens and emergency workers were supposed to be outside during the bombing raids. The wardens instructed people to move calmly but quickly to neighborhood shelters, underground subway stations, or their basements if they couldn't get anywhere else. To stay in your living room or bedroom was to put your life in peril. Some families, like the Grimmans, had their own shelters, issued by the government. The Grimmans had managed to add on to their Anderson shelter, made of corrugated steel, to make room for their large family. All that night, as Gussie and her family stayed safely underground, London's streets were dangerous and chaotic. Buildings toppled from the bombs. Explosions ignited fires, shooting red-orange flames into the darkness and spreading from one building to the next, destroying even more lives. Firefighters and medics drove their fire trucks and ambulances as best they could through dark, rubble-strewn streets. Firefighters quickly unfurled hoses to douse fires. They rushed into buildings to rescue people trapped by flames and searched through rubble, hoping to save people buried under collapsed buildings. Rescuers put their own lives in danger, trying to save others. And yet on they worked, men too old to fight in the war, others not yet called up.